Eyes up here. For science, let's review our solar system. So this is the
Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Again.
Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
And I will have this at home when we're doing the distance learning, and I will review it. Probably by then I will have taken away the names. Maybe next week I'm going to take away the names, and we'll do it without looking. All right, so we're going to begin reading History by Echo. We're going to begin reading on page 150, where you should be. We don't have a lot to read, and then we're going to be going outside to do something. And unfortunately, I cannot take my distance learners with me, so you will not be able to watch this, but I will explain to you what we're going to do. All right, so let's look on page 150. 150 talks about the movement of heavenly bodies. All right, so first there are stars. Some heavenly bodies orbit other heavenly bodies in space, but stars do not. Our sun remains in the center of our solar system. So since the sun is a star, it does not orbit. Things orbit it. Heavenly bodies orbit it. Next is planets. Planets are heavenly bodies that orbit a star. The planets of our solar system all orbit the sun. Moons. Moons are heavenly bodies that orbit a planet. Our moon orbits Earth. Alright, so all these planets may or may not have a moon. Some of them actually have more than one moon. Alright, now look below that. Let's look at the phases of the moon. Remember yesterday I told you that when you start distance learning, that very first day, are you trying to put your coat on, girlfriend? Do not do that. You need, have a seat, please. Let's finish this up. Alright, so you're going to do moon phase starting on November 30th, and you'll start with a full moon. And you'll do it all the way every night until the next full moon. If you cannot see the moon with your eyes, you figure it out by looking it up online, what the moon phase should be that night. It has nothing to do with whether you actually go out and look at the moon or not. If you can go out and look at the moon, that's good. But even if you can't see the moon that night, you need to look it up online and figure out what the moon phase was supposed to be that night. So the first moon phase they're talking about is a new moon. Which one is that? The first one, the second one, or the third one? Just call it out.
Second.
Yes, the one where it's all dark. A new moon is when it's all dark, you can see nothing. All right, then a quarter moon.
Third.
Yes, that's the third one, where you're actually seeing half of the moon. But we talked about that yesterday. Since the moon is actually a sphere, we can only see half of the moon anyway. So when it looks like you're seeing half of the moon, you're really seeing a quarter of the moon, like it's divided into fourths. All right, and then we have the full moon, where you see the whole side, so it looks full. That's the first one, very good. Number one, how long does it take the moon to orbit the earth? The moon, to orbit the earth. That's the moon going around the earth.
24 hours.
No. You just told me how long it takes the earth to rotate on its axis one time. No, not a year. A month. Guys, that's why we have a full moon every month.
Oh yeah, full
A month. Alright? For the moon to orbit the earth is a month. That's what gives us our moon phases, remember? Alright? The moon phases come from the moon orbiting the earth, and it takes about a month. Actually, who can tell me exactly how many days it is? I told you that. It's about a month, but it's
28 days.
28 days. And there's only 1 month that is 28 days. All the other months are a little bit longer. That's why the date that the full moon happens on keeps changing. Okay? Because it's 28-day cycle. Alright? What does the gravity of the moon pull that is on the earth? So the moon has gravity. What is it pulling?
The ocean water.
Yes, so it makes the what?
It makes like the
Since it's pulling the ocean water, what is it making?
High tide.
Tides, very good. It's making the tide. High tide and low tide. All right, now look at number 3, 4, and 5. Of those, they have labeled that little picture. See that little picture? And it has an A, B, and a C. So which one of those is a star? Just say it.
B.
Very good, because that's the sun.
Sun.
Which one of those is a planet?
C.
The Earth. Very good. Earth's a planet. And which one is the moon?
A.
Very good. You do not need to keep saying it. That is so good in this earth. Don't do it. All right, now let's look at the next page. The next page is a little experiment, and I'm going to change it up just a wee bit. It says to put a metal washer on a piece of yarn, and you actually are supposed to have two, one longer and one shorter, and you're supposed to see the orbit of things that are closer to an object and the orbit of things that are farther away. Now we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to use people and we're going to use jump ropes, and we're going to do it outside. That's why I can't have children in my videos. So since I'm going to use you guys, you can't be in my video. So therefore, that's why my distance learners can't see this. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a short jump rope and a really long jump rope, and I'm going to hold one end, and we're going to see which one orbits faster. The one that's closer to me or the one that's further away from me. What do you guys think? We already have talked about this a little bit.
Closer.
So these planets that are closer to the sun, do they take longer or shorter to go around the
Short.
sun? Ben?
Shorter.
Very good. And the ones that are further away take, everybody?
Longer.
Very good. So an orbiting object will move more slowly or more quickly the farther it is from the object it is orbiting. An orbiting object, this is at number 2, an orbiting object will move more slowly or more quickly the farther it is from the object it is orbiting. So that means these are moving more slowly. Very good. They're moving more slowly. It's going to take them a lot longer to get around what is orbiting. So Neptune. All right, this one is Neptune. So is Neptune going to take a longer amount of time or a shorter amount of time to orbit than Mercury?
Longer.
Yes. Mercury's going to go around fast. Remember, it was less than a year, right? It was like 80-something days, if I remember correctly. And this one took, wasn't it hundreds of years? Longer than any people live, is 165 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's like
So it's
65
a
Earth
really
years.
long time.
65
People don't even live that
Earth
long. The amount of time it takes Neptune to go around.
65
All right.
Earth years.
So
Yeah.
that is all we had to read today. We're going to go outside now and